Eggs, the breakfast superfood, or a hidden health hazard? For decades, we've been told that eggs are one of the healthiest foods on the planet, packed with protein, essential vitamins, and good fats. But what if I told you that the way you cook, store, or even eat your eggs could turn this so-called superfood into a silent threat to your health? Most people don't think twice about their morning omelet or scrambled eggs, but small mistakes in handling eggs can lead to nutrient loss, toxic compounds, or even foodborne illnesses. Shocking, right? Today, we're uncovering 6 common mistakes that could make your eggs more harmful than beneficial. And you might be making at least one of them every day without realizing it. Stick around to find out what they are and how tiny changes can make a huge impact on your health. If you love eggs and want to keep them as healthy as possible, comment 1 below. Mistake number 1. Eating too many eggs without balancing your diet. You might be thinking, wait, aren't eggs supposed to be good for me? And you're right. Eggs are a powerhouse of protein, vitamins, and healthy fats. But like anything in life, too much of a good thing can backfire. Many people assume that since eggs are nutrient-dense, eating them in large quantities daily is perfectly fine. However, overloading on eggs without balancing your diet can lead to long-term health issues, especially for older adults. Take James, a 68-year-old retiree from Austin, Texas. He's always been a firm believer in protein equals strength, so he started eating 4 to 5 eggs every morning, convinced it would keep him energized and sharp. For months, he stuck to this habit, rarely incorporating fruits, vegetables, or fiber-rich foods into his breakfast. At first, he felt great. His meals were quick, easy, and packed with protein. But over time, things started to change. James began experiencing frequent bloating and sluggish digestion. His doctor noticed his cholesterol levels were creeping up, and despite his active lifestyle, he often felt fatigued by midday. What James didn't realize was that his egg-heavy diet was lacking balance. While eggs provide healthy fats and essential nutrients, they don't offer fiber, vitamin C, or enough plant-based antioxidants that the body needs to maintain optimal health. For older adults, maintaining heart health and digestion is just as important as getting enough protein. Additionally, excess cholesterol intake can be problematic, especially for those with a genetic predisposition to heart disease. While recent studies show that moderate egg consumption isn't necessarily harmful, consistently overloading on cholesterol-rich foods without counterbalancing them with fiber, healthy carbs, and plant-based nutrients can increase the risk of heart disease, arterial plaque buildup, and even insulin resistance. So, what should James have done differently? Instead of cutting out eggs altogether, he needed to adjust his portions and pair them with a more balanced meal. Instead of 5 eggs, he could have 2, alongside some whole grain toast, avocado, and leafy greens. Not only would this provide better digestion and more sustained energy, but it would also help regulate his cholesterol levels while keeping all the benefits that eggs have to offer. If you've been eating eggs every day without much thought about balance, it's time to take a step back. Are you pairing them with nutrient-dense foods, or are you falling into the same trap as James? A small shift in how you approach your meals can make a huge difference in your long-term health. If you're still with me and starting to rethink your breakfast choices, comment 2 below. Mistake number 2. Eating raw or undercooked eggs. While eating too many eggs can disrupt your nutritional balance, how you prepare them is just as important. Some people believe that consuming eggs raw or only lightly cooked preserves their nutrients and offers extra health benefits. But what they don't realize is that this habit carries serious risks, especially for older adults. Take Margaret, a 72-year-old grandmother from Chicago. She had always taken pride in her morning routine, a protein-packed smoothie with a raw egg blended in, something she had been doing for years. She had read somewhere that raw eggs provided pure, unaltered nutrition and were the secret to vitality. For a long time, she had no issues. That was until one morning when she felt an unusual wave of nausea shortly after finishing her usual breakfast. A few hours later, she was battling severe stomach cramps, chills, and dehydration. Margaret had unknowingly contracted salmonella poisoning, a bacterial infection that can come from consuming contaminated raw eggs. While some younger individuals may recover quickly, for seniors, foodborne illnesses can be far more dangerous, leading to prolonged illness, hospitalization, or even life-threatening complications. Her doctor explained that while the risk of contamination in store-bought eggs is lower than it used to be, there's still a chance that bacteria like salmonella can be present on the eggshell or even inside the egg itself. But bacteria aren't the only concern. Raw eggs contain a protein called avidin, which blocks the absorption of biotin, an essential B vitamin that supports metabolism, nerve function, and skin health. Over time, regularly consuming raw eggs can lead to biotin deficiency, causing symptoms like brittle nails, thinning hair, and fatigue, issues that can be especially troublesome as we age. So, what's the safer alternative? Cooking your eggs properly eliminates harmful bacteria and deactivates avidin, allowing your body to fully absorb the nutrients. This doesn't mean you have to overcook them. Scrambled eggs, poached eggs, or soft-boiled eggs are all great options that retain their nutritional value while keeping you safe. If you enjoy a runny yolk, opt for pasteurized eggs, which undergo a gentle heating process that kills bacteria without fully cooking the egg. Margaret has since changed her morning routine, swapping out raw eggs for fully cooked ones. She still enjoys her smoothies, but now adds a scoop of protein powder instead, getting the same benefits without the health risks. If you've ever eaten raw cookie dough, homemade Caesar dressing, or runny eggs, you might be putting yourself at unnecessary risk without realizing it. It's a small change, but one that can protect your health in the long run. If you're still here and thinking twice about undercooked eggs, comment 3 below. Mistake number 3. Overcooking eggs. If eating raw or undercooked eggs can expose you to harmful bacteria, going too far in the other direction isn't much better either. Many people assume that cooking eggs until they're firm, crispy, or well done is the safest and best way to enjoy them. However, what they don't realize is that overcooking eggs can destroy key nutrients and even create harmful compounds that may negatively impact your health. Take Walter, a 70-year-old retired firefighter from Denver. He had always loved his eggs fried until golden brown, believing that a well-cooked meal was a safe meal. Every morning, he would crank up the stove, fry his eggs in a hot pan until the edges were crispy, and watch as the yolks turned firm and dry. He also boiled eggs for long periods, ensuring that there was no trace of runniness in the yolk. For years, he ate his eggs this way without a second thought. Then, during a routine checkup, Walter's doctor mentioned that his cholesterol levels were slightly elevated and asked about his diet. When Walter described his love for crispy fried eggs, the doctor explained that cooking eggs at excessively high temperatures can cause oxidation of cholesterol, which has been linked to increased inflammation and a higher risk of heart disease. In addition, his frequent consumption of overcooked eggs was leading to a reduction in essential nutrients like vitamin B12, folate, and antioxidants such as lutein and zeaxanthin, which are crucial for brain and eye health. One telltale sign of overcooked eggs is the greenish-gray ring around the yolk in hard-boiled eggs, something Walter had always noticed but never thought twice about. That discoloration is caused by the reaction between sulfur in the egg whites and iron in the yolk, forming iron sulfide. While not toxic, it's a sign that valuable nutrients have been damaged in the cooking process. So, what's the solution? The key is to cook eggs gently at moderate temperatures. Instead of frying at high heat, Walter learned to prepare his eggs differently. Soft, scrambling them over low heat, poaching them, or lightly boiling them just until the yolk was slightly runny. These methods not only preserve more nutrients, but also prevent the formation of oxidized cholesterol. Since making this change, Walter has noticed a difference, not just in his digestion, but in his overall energy levels. His breakfasts feel lighter, yet just as satisfying. And his doctor even commented on improvements in his cholesterol. If you've been frying your eggs until crispy, or boiling them to oblivion, it might be time to rethink your cooking methods. A simple shift in temperature and technique can help you get the most out of this nutritional powerhouse. If this made you reconsider how you cook your eggs, comment 4 below. Mistake number 4. Improperly storing cooked eggs. While how you cook your eggs plays a major role in their nutritional value, what you do with them after cooking is just as crucial. Many people don't think twice about leaving cooked eggs on the counter or storing them haphazardly in the fridge. But poor storage practices can quickly turn a perfectly good meal into a breeding ground for bacteria, leading to food poisoning and other health risks, especially for older adults. Take Linda, a 67-year-old retired school teacher from Seattle. She loved preparing meals in advance, so she often cooked a batch of scrambled eggs on Sunday to reheat throughout the week. To save space, she would loosely cover the eggs with plastic wrap and leave them in the fridge, grabbing a portion each morning. Sometimes, she even left them sitting on the counter for an hour or two before putting them away. For a while, this routine worked fine. But over time, Linda started experiencing unexplained stomach discomfort, bloating, and occasional nausea. At first, she thought it was just part of aging, but after a particularly rough bout of food poisoning that left her bedridden for days, she finally visited her doctor. The culprit? Improperly stored eggs. What Linda didn't realize was that cooked eggs, like any perishable food, must be stored properly to remain safe to eat. When left at room temperature for too long, bacteria such as Salmonella and Listeria can multiply rapidly, making even a seemingly harmless plate of eggs a serious health risk. Eggs should never be left out for more than 2 hours, and in warmer temperatures, that window shrinks to just 1 hour. Another mistake Linda made was storing her cooked eggs in an uncovered or loosely wrapped container. Exposure to air not only dries out the eggs but also increases the chance of cross-contamination from other foods in the fridge, especially raw meat or unwashed produce. So, what's the right way to store cooked eggs? Refrigerate them within 2 hours of cooking to keep them safe. Use airtight containers to maintain freshness and prevent contamination. Consume within 3 to 4 days for scrambled or fried eggs and within a week for hard-boiled eggs. When reheating, do so properly, either on the stove over low heat or in short intervals in the microwave to avoid a rubbery texture. After learning these simple adjustments, Linda changed her habits. She started storing her eggs in airtight containers, keeping them refrigerated immediately after cooking and making smaller batches to ensure freshness. The result? No more stomach troubles, better tasting eggs, and peace of mind knowing she wasn't risking her health. If you've ever left cooked eggs sitting out longer than you should, it's time to rethink your storage habits. A little extra caution can go a long way in keeping your meals both delicious and safe. If you've learned something new today, comment 5 below. Mistake number 5. Cooking eggs with unhealthy oils. Properly storing your eggs is essential for keeping them safe, but what you cook them in can make just as much of a difference to your health. Many people don't think twice about the type of oil they use when frying eggs, assuming that as long as the eggs themselves are healthy, the oil doesn't really matter. But the truth is, choosing the wrong cooking oil can turn a nutritious breakfast into a source of inflammation and long-term health risks. Take Ron, a 74-year-old retired mechanic from Detroit. He had always believed that eggs were the ultimate breakfast food, affordable, filling, and packed with protein. Every morning, he'd heat up a pan, pour in a generous amount of vegetable oil, and fry his eggs until they were crispy on the edges. For decades, this was his routine, and he never thought anything of it. Then, during a routine checkup, his doctor told him that his cholesterol levels were rising, and inflammation markers in his blood were higher than normal. Ron was confused. He didn't eat much junk food, didn't smoke, and exercised regularly. So, what was the problem? After discussing his diet, his doctor pointed out that his choice of cooking oil might be playing a major role. The key takeaway here is that it's not about avoiding eggs, it's about making smarter choices. Cooking them at the right temperature, storing them correctly, and pairing them with the right ingredients can transform your eggs from a potential health hazard into the nutritional powerhouse they're meant to be. These small adjustments may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they can have a huge impact on your digestion, energy levels, and overall health. Think about it. One simple change in how you prepare your eggs could mean fewer digestive issues, lower inflammation, and even better heart health. So why not take that step today? Whether it's switching to a healthier cooking oil, checking for cracks before using eggs, or being more mindful of storage, every small improvement counts. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to the channel for more health tips. Your support helps us continue bringing you valuable content to keep you informed and inspired.